Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and yes, it is Thursday, and yes, I said I was not doing a video today, but here I am, because life does not always go as planned. Life does not go to our schedule, does it? Yesterday, I told you that I have family in Asheville, so I am going to talk about Hurricane Helene right now and the devastation that's happening in Asheville. I know it also reaches many other communities, so what I'm talking about here for Asheville, you can do to support a community that you want to support, or just one of the general things. But I have family there. It's hard. My brother and his wife, my brother Tom and his wife and their son live in Asheville, and so I wanted to be sure that they were kind of safe. They did not have any flooding, but I just wanted to be sure they were really safe, that they were okay, and how were they doing, before I could kind of comprehend how I could help in a bigger way than just helping him individually. So they still don't have electric as of filming this Thursday afternoon when you're seeing it. They still don't have electric. And as many of you know, the city of Asheville, it has 93,000 people. That's a city. And they have no water. There's no water because they have three power plants. All three were damaged, one very heavily. And it will take a lot longer to come online. The other two, they are working to bring them back to a stable state so they can start having water. So that means you have no drink. They have no drinking water out of the tap. You turn the tap, it's empty. There's no drinking water. You cannot flush a toilet. You cannot take a shower. So anybody affected that, in the city, he lives in the city proper, not right downtown, but right just a few blocks away from downtown. So that is where they are. But they are safe and they're stable. People that live there can go in and out of the area. It's just not many roads, and it takes a long time. So it's happening. It's what's going on. But I wanted to do something, as I'm sure many of you have a community that was hit by Hurricane Helene that you just feel you want to help. So here's what we're going to do, because we're makers, and one of the things that helps us process tragedies and happy events as well, but any kind of, we are makers. We like to make something. And right now, I have found in the past, when I have helped other kinds of things, that for us, I find that it works best if we can make something small and do a donation, because what's needed is the donations. They need money so they can buy supplies and whatnot. So what I did is I designed a banner based on the logo of the city of Asheville. But it is kind of a banner that I think can be used for any kind of community. It's kind of a community banner. Okay, let me put up the city of Asheville's, North Carolina's logo. So you see the logo here. It is a building. It also has a bunch of gears, and it's got that sort of building structure. The thing, Asheville is quite an interesting community. It might be a little bit more unique than some. They are very artsy. It's a very artsy community. Music, art, that's what drew my brother and his wife there to live, because they'd been visiting for years and they really love that sense of community. They also are very strong on charity work. They're very strong on supporting people. All of that was what spoke to my family when they moved there. And so I took that logo, and let me show you what I designed. So for the past 2 days, I designed, made, wrote, had two of my friends made this to test it out, but I made us a banner. And I'm calling it Much Beloved Asheville, because that's what inspired it. But it can be used for your community that you're supporting as well. You saw on the logo that there was kind of a building structure in the middle here, like with windows, you know. And what I did is I took away the sides of that and just have a floating heart, because I don't think our love and support of people has any boundaries. It's not caged in or boxed in by anything. And so there it is. There's our heart. There's lots of white space if you happen to want to do something. I'm going to give you a few ideas here. But first, okay, getting ahead of myself. I'm talking, getting ahead of myself. Let me hang this up behind me. Here's the pattern. So I have a little bit about why I did this at the top and some of the things I'm going to tell you written out. And then there's multiple pages because you're making the heart, which is, not complex. We've all done sew and flip hearts before. And then the rest of it is just pretty much, rectangles. So there you go. There's the whole pattern. You've got all the written out part, and then just, a sewing order kind of diagram split out. I want to show you two others here. This Melissa, my friend Melissa, who also helps me here as one of the ambassadors, she made this version, which tested it. So she tested out the instructions. And then my friend Kendall, who is our ambassador from Australia, he made this version to also test it out. So I had two people test it and make it. So it's looking good. It's looking good. All right, let's talk about how you can use this. Because we love to make, I have found that giving us a banner to make has been so successful, because when we're trying to process something, be it something happy or something very stressful, often making helps us sort of work through our emotions, work through our thoughts, work through how we can think about this. And that's what this did for me and my friends. So what can we do? Make the banner. And then I have a list of charities. The banner pattern is free. Then I have a list of charities. If you would please donate and help either directly, I'm going to give you some directly to organizations in the city of Asheville, or for a larger places that are helping all kinds of communities. And I'll talk about those in a second. But how can you take this a little bit further? One is make the banner, and then find a place in your community where they are raising funds for disaster relief. Ask them if they would like to hang the banner. When they do that, it lets them have an extra light to shine on their donation area, because people will be drawn in. They will want to know, why is that quilt hanging there? What is that? And it starts a conversation. When you start a conversation with somebody, that's when the magic happens. And so see if you can find a place, or talk to a place maybe and see if they want to set something up. You can then take it a couple steps further if you like, and you could see if they then want to use that and maybe auction it, or do a raffle of the actual piece. You could have people sign it. Maybe you know somebody in Asheville. Have people sign messages of love and support on the front there, all around the building, and then mail it to them when they get mail. Mine will go to my brother and my sister-in-law, but they're not getting any mail for a little while, probably still. So it might be a couple weeks. So I will be hanging it here until I ship it. And when I ship it is, it's probably be a few weeks, which is really, really disturbing. But, that's just the way it is with a big epic disaster. You don't have any control over all the little moving parts. But we can help. We can help. And I know I've read sometimes places will go, not places, people will go like, well, nobody's doing this, you be the one that does it. If you see a hole where something a light's not being shown on a community, you be the light. You go out there and talk about it. Put it on your Facebook page or your Instagram, or leave a comment here in YouTube and start a conversation. If you have community pages, I'm sure many of you belong to your community groups. You belong, online somewhere, whether it's on the neighborhood groups or whether it's on Facebook or somewhere else, Reddit, Discord, wherever your community lives. be out there talking and sharing and shining that light to bring awareness to what's going on. Okay, let's talk about a few of the charities. I call this much beloved Asheville because my sister-in-law's favorite charity group is called Beloved Asheville. And let me just pop up a photo. These photos are from the Facebook pages of these three groups. So Beloved Asheville is all volunteer. There are no paid employees. They have been in Asheville a very long time, and they know the community. They know where the issues are. They know where people are that need help because they may have helped them in the past. Whatever the deal is, they are on the ground and have been for years. So you can do all kinds of methods of donation at their donation page, which is really great. It's not just one way, there's a bunch of different ways. And so I'll link you over to them. Let's look at another one. So my friend Lylene, who also helps as one of our ambassadors, also lives in North Carolina. Her area was not affected, but she knows a lot of people. And so there is an organization called Manna Food Bank, and this is from their website, from their Facebook page rather, and they are also in Asheville. And so things can be, you can donate money there. If to get goods, you can't ship anything right now. So just money is what it is. And then using your power as a maker to get more light shown on these things. So let's look at the last one. Last but not all that's out there. These are just the three that I am highlighting because it's impossible to highlight everything. But World Central Kitchen is just an incredible organization. They go into disaster areas all across the world, multiple at a time. Multiple. It's a huge process. They are bringing in tanker trucks of clean water to be used. What they do is they set up a command center, and then they go out in smaller, spread out around the city and up into other areas and cook for people. So they have food and nourishment and hot meals, and they are just incredible. So whatever you donate to World Central Kitchen will be, helping all kinds of people affected by Hurricane Helene. There are many, many, many other charities that you may be fond of, like Samaritan's Purse, I think it's called, is one that a lot of people like to donate to. There's a lot of that. You can do what works for you because all the money will get used and help somewhere. But I wanted to highlight at least two that will help in Asheville, and then the World Central Kitchen, which I'm a super big fan of them. Okay, so the elephant in the room, the last item. Oh, two things. One, I did put out another pattern. So just in case for some reason you don't really want to do my building. What? It's a building of love and hope. But if for some reason you don't want to do that, I did put the pattern out for this quilt of hearts. And so if you would rather make a quilt of hearts, which is also just all what we're about, I put this, that on my website today too. So you have to go to the website link, which is in the description box here. At YouTube. Okay. The other thing is, I know a lot of you want to make like a lap quilt and donate it and all of that. And for most disasters that I can think of, somebody will eventually take on that task. It is a huge task to accumulate quilts and disperse them to people in need. It is not a small project. It is a very large project. And so someone has to have the time and the space and the interest to do it. When that happens, there will always be somewhere, and I will be sure that it is a qualified place that knows what they're doing and will follow through, because I can be honest, in the past, when I first went online, and way back when, there were people who did these things and the follow through, it fell apart. you know, people sent quilts and they just never got to the location. So I am extremely careful when I promote someplace that is going to accept quilts, because the last thing you want to do is send it and then it ends up going in the landfill or just getting stuck in somebody's warehouse and never gets given out. That's, you know, why even bother? That's why we go this route first, where we raise funds, we do a quilt and you know, a banner. But once somebody steps up that I feel I can promote, then I will share that with you. But I suspect that'll be a few weeks before some place, and more than likely it'll be multiple, like somebody maybe in North Carolina and somebody in Florida and somebody in Tennessee. And so it's, you know, that's the way it is. If you hear of a legitimate place, if you are a legitimate place, you can certainly email me when you put it together. All right, my friends, I hope you will join me. I hope you will help. You have the ability to help. You are the shining light, and we can help our friends, help our friends in need. So download the pattern. I can't wait to see your banners. Share them in my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, where we can share photos. And yeah, so it's been hard, and I send my love out to all of you that are affected, family affected, have lost somebody in this hurricane, because there's been a lot of loss of life. My brother and his wife have friends that lost people, so, and it's very, very hard. All right, so I love you. Oh, wait, let me just pull it down. Let me get it down here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I've got everything falling on the floor. All right, here we go. Much beloved Asheville, a community that helps each other, and we will help them. So I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping. I'll see you online.